Welcome to The Morning After. I'm Matt Smith, and if you've got a Vision Pro headset already, how are you even watching this? The Vision Pro doesn't even have YouTube, and I am still waiting for Disney Plus to make me an offer. Waiting on a folding iPhone? You aren't alone, and according to a report from The Information, Apple has created 2 clamshell-style foldable iPhone prototypes that are in the very early stages of development. If Apple were to move forward with foldable iPhones, they likely wouldn't arrive until at least 2026. According to the report, Apple engineers have so far been unable to address some of the technical issues that plague foldable smartphones. Cast your mind back to the first Samsung Galaxy Fold, which notoriously had a pretty decent-sized gap between the two halves of the screen. Inside there, debris could and did enter. Another issue, apparently to the report, is that Apple is struggling to find enough features for a foldable iPhone to make it a compelling enough reason to exist beyond the iPhone's current form factor. That's the whole issue of foldables right in a nutshell there. Reportedly, engineers want to make each side of the foldable about half as thin as a regular iPhone, meaning when folded, it would be roughly equivalent in thickness. But the technology isn't quite there yet, given the constraints of both battery sizes and screen technology. Apple also wants a screen that is totally flat, none of this crease nonsense. The one thing I can believe from reading this report, don't believe the timescale. In 2021, we talked about Apple launching a foldable phone in 2023. Fool me once, Ming Chi Kuo, and you'll probably fool me another 3 times before the year's out. Sadly, some bad news for early adopters, technology journalists, and stand-up comedians, or anyone who's all 3. Yes, ruining a year of invitation-only bliss, one of the biggest Twitter alternatives, or X alternatives, Bluesky, is now open to anyone that wants to join it. Yes, that means you and even me. With almost 4 million users now, the social media platform is an option for anyone sick of the ruins of X, formerly Twitter, or if Threads just isn't doing it for you. Bluesky actually began life as an internal project at Jack Dorsey's Twitter, but it ended its association with the entity known as X after Elon Musk's takeover. But the surface generally is functionally similar to X, and Threads posts aren't tweets, however, but skeets. Nope. There's a chronological timeline, but you can also follow numerous other algorithmic feeds created by other users. Bluesky has already added 1 million new users, having opened up the floodgates. Now, a cursory scan of the service shows many established users bracing themselves for the inevitable wave of trolls, misinformation, and awful corporate brands. Just like Twitter. The Joe Rogan Experience is the biggest podcast in the world, and that makes a lot of people furious, but it doesn't stop it being the biggest podcast in the world. Now, Rogan has signed another deal with Spotify worth an estimated $250 million. The deal allows the streamer to distribute Rogan's podcasts on additional platforms, including a video version on YouTube. This will also include a revenue sharing agreement in case Rogan somehow burns through those hundreds of millions of dollars a little bit too quickly. Now, Rogan has been a regular source of controversy for Spotify since signing up, particularly when he broadcasted uninformed COVID opinions and advice. This prompted doctors and scientists to demand Spotify update its misinformation policy. Now, the streamer claimed it wasn't responsible for Rogan because it was a platform, not a publisher. Now, however, Spotify will be publishing his projects elsewhere. So what will its defense be next time? I don't know why, but it seems to be Taylor Swift meets technology news season. Yes, her music is still offline on TikTok, but this week her team has threatened legal action against a Florida student who set up social media accounts that release real-time information of her personal aircraft's whereabouts, information that is freely available. You may remember the Elon Jet Twitter account that did the same for Elon Musk's jet a few years ago. Well, it's the same student. Facebook and Instagram have already banned Jack Sweeney's accounts that track Swift's air travel, but they are still live on Bluesky, Mastodon, Telegram, and other sites because it's the internet. The first big update to Vision Pro hopefully makes your avatar, or your persona, as Apple likes to call it, a little less creepy. Yes, personas are the digital representation of Vision Pro users created by the headset's sensors and cameras and a new machine learning algorithm. They're designed to show your facial expressions and hand movements, substituting in for you looking like a doofus. I mean, looking like an early adopter in a mask on a video call. Users are reporting that the new avatars look a little bit less blurry and a touch more realistic. Here's Engadget's Devindra's avatar. This is the early version, not the updated one. And here is the real-life Devindra. Or maybe it's the other way around. It's so hard to tell these days. Look how realistic it looks. And that was your morning after. If you like this tour of the week's biggest, or at least most interesting stories, don't forget to follow along and subscribe to the dedicated playlist and the wider Engadget YouTube channel, where my co-workers are doing the proper work of having proper opinions on proper things. This week that includes the OnePlus 12, the Vision Pro, and Elon Musk's Neuralink, as well as the gaming industry's continued layoffs. And I hope to see you next week for what one friend described as Matt's vanity project. See you then.